Thank you very much for staying with us on Daily Politics. You can do well by joining us across all our platforms and also watch us live on YouTube in case you miss any part of the show. Just like I said earlier, from one crisis to the other, opposition political parties in Nigeria are, finding it difficult in terms of maintaining internal cohesion. We've just talked about the NNPP crisis. So we're now moving into the lingering PDP crisis, which appeared to have defied solutions. And I'll be interfacing with Umar Sani, the former senior special advisor, rather assistant to former Vice President former Vice President Namadi Sambo, who joined us from Kaduna. Thank you very much for joining, Malam Umar. Yes, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, it's my pleasure.
Okay. The People's Democratic Party has been in, some would say almost a perpetual crisis since after the 2023 elections. But the recent one that is tearing the party apart, perhaps is this struggle for the secretaryship of the party, which has polarized even the members of the NWC. Just yesterday or so, there was a refutal by a faction of the NWC saying that the suspension or the purported suspension of the BOT chairman, Senator Adolphus Wabara, is null and void. And then before then, there has also been decisions to align with the judgment of the Court of Appeal in respect to the secretaryship position. The Governors Forum, the BOT, and subsequently the NWC appear to have thrown their weights behind Sunday Udio Okoye. Let me get your perspective as to why this crisis has lingered over time.
Well, you see, I wouldn't call it a crisis per se. I want to look at it as an internal rumbling. A political party is, in the coming together of individuals, who are looking for ways and means to achieve their aspirations within the political party, within the political family. Now, we have a constituted National Working Committee as part of the organs of the party. We have also the National Executive Committee, and then of course we have the National Convention of our party. Now, it is in the spirit and letter of our Constitution that where a vacancy exists, the Constitution in section 646, subsection 6, clearly spells out how it can be filled. The relevant area, the zone or the area that is affected will now sit down and bring out a replacement, which will now be adopted, and that replacement continues to act in that capacity. Perhaps when there is a national convention, that thing will be ratified at the national convention. Now, there were two vacancies that existed within our party that had elicited quite a lot of uproar within the party. One was the position of the national chairman, where a court, barred the substantive national chairman, Dr. Ayu, from parading himself as the national chairman of the party, pending the determination of the suit he has filed in court challenging his expulsion by his ward in Benue State. So, nature and political parties abhor a vacuum. So, because there is a vacuum, somebody must fill that vacuum. And so, since he can no longer parade himself as the national chairman, our Constitution is very clear. It says we have two deputy national chairmen, one from the north and one from the south. So, the deputy national chairman from the area zone, where the geographical zone where the chairman comes from,
in this case,
naturally should take over. So Damagum took over as acting national chairman. Now, the issue has been as to will Damagum continue to act perpetually until another national convention, or that should he revert back to his previous position? Well, the history.
Okay, we're having issues with the sound out there. Okay, Umar Sani out there is trying to give us a background to this crisis in the main opposition party, the PDP, talking about the reason behind this contention. Is giving us a background in respect to the existence of a vacuum of the national chairman of the party after the exit of its former chairman, Yuchia Ayu. Perhaps it will also lead us to the current crisis about the secretaryship of the party and so on. We hope he rejoin in a moment, but then before he's able to come back, of course we're looking at the internal crisis of the PDP with especially the recent development, that is the contention around its secretaryship position, tearing the party apart. You remember the decision of the BOT was challenged by some members of the NWC, including the acting national chairman of the party, which says that that decision is not taken in good faith and so on. And again, it appears all the solution, or rather the intended solution to address this lingering problem are not longer, serving the purpose, because the crisis still lingers. Just yesterday or so, the embattled National Secretary of the party, Senator Anyanwu, was seen in his office saying that he has resumed his office and he is still the authentic National Secretary of the party and so on, in spite of the decisions taken by both the PDP Governors Forum, the BOT, and so on, and even the decision taken by the caucus, if you like, or the stakeholders in the southeast of the party to back the former National Youth Leader Sunday Ude Okoye as a substantive National Secretary of the party. So all of these contentions appear to have kept the PDP, the main opposition party in Nigeria, in perpetual crisis. Crisis that appears to have defied all solutions. But then it's left to be seen whether a slated NWC, or rather NEC meeting of the party in March will be able to address some of these concerns. We will take a short break. When we return, we'll continue with the conversation. Stay with us. Thank you very much for staying with us. I understand we have established contact again with Umar Sani, the SSA to former Vice President Namadi Sambo. Thank you very much for rejoining the conversation, Umar. You were making a point earlier concerning making a trajectory of what has been happening in the party, especially around the existing vacancies that are creating tension in the party. Very quickly, because
exactly.
You wrap up on that so that we can move on.
Okay, so there are two positions. Like I said, the deputy national chairman, which has to go to Damagum, and then the issue of the national secretary, which was also a very heated issue because Senator Anyanwu had gone to contest for the governorship of Imo State. It is without prejudice a constitutional matter. Whether you resign or not, you are deemed to have resigned from that position. So a vacancy existed at the time he went to contest. So the Southeast Caucus, Southeast stakeholders, where he comes from, sat down, yes, and they selected Ude Okoye to replace him because there was a vacancy. Now, when he lost and he came back, he went to an Abuja High Court and obtained a judgment that says he's the one. Ude Okoye went to an Enugu High Court. The Enugu High Court said he is the one. So you see, there is a crisis of judicial interpretation. Now, Ude Okoye, you know, his position was challenged by Senator Anyanwu at the Court of Appeal, because both courts that issued those orders are courts of coordinate jurisdiction.
But the Court of Appeal decision, you know.
But the Court of Appeal said it is Ude Okoye who is the National Secretary of the party. Now, the issue that came up is that it's a personality clash rather than a legal solution, because the law is very clear. He has already, the Court of Appeal had already given it to Ude Okoye. And when they went in, when he went in to look for a stay of execution of the order,
but he also appealed.
When he went to look for the stay of on the 13th of January, the court said, okay, for the time being, let us stay the way we were. You know, status quo ante bellum, until on the 27th, when we will determine whether your stay of execution is approved or not.
Okay. Yes.
So on the 27th,
Umar,
the court didn't sit.
Let's move on now. You know, I understand you're trying to exhaust all the processes. You know, the matter is at the Supreme Court right now. But let me get your perspective.
Yes.
Some people say that, just like you also rightly pointed out, it's more of a personality clash than that of a legal processes and so on. Do you agree with some people who felt that there are certain people within the party that are being either financed to ensure that the party remain in perpetual crisis and then weaken it ahead of 2027? Do you agree with that assertion?
Yes, in fact, it is one of my most held view, and it is well informed. Because there is no way we will have a member of our party who is not in tandem with the spirit and letter of our party. The APC government appointed the former governor of Rivers State as the minister of the FCT. And within this period, he had made two very important statements that have put us in doubt as to his loyalty to our party. First, he said he stands on the mandate of Tinubu. When you stand on somebody's mandate, it means you are not with your party. Secondly, he said in 2027, irrespective of whoever the PDP feels as a presidential candidate, he is going with Tinubu. Now, these are two very sensitive statements that are tearing the party apart. That is why all these problems are coming up. You will not support our presidential candidate, and you stand on the mandate given to Tinubu. So these two statements, you know, are very weighty, and they bring a lot of friction within our party.
But
so
you know,
it means that if you are staying with Tinubu, what you want to do is to decapitate our party, to make our party impossible to present a presidential candidate, so that you continue to support your candidate.
Right. I want to believe that there are mechanisms within the party perhaps to address some of those concerns, but it appears those mechanisms and those organs of the party are powerless, so to speak, or they don't have the capacity to address the problem. Several decisions have been taken, but it appears they are not being abided by. For instance, the Governors Forum has thrown its weight behind Ude Okoye. The BOT, which is the conscience of the party, did the same. But as we speak, Senator Anyanwu is still back in the national headquarters of the party, operating as secretary. So who is bigger than the party now?
No, he is not back at the party headquarters operating as a secretary. You know, when a person does not want to vacate a seat, he tries all tricks to see whether he can survive. This is survival instinct. He went and then he was doing a selfie, saying he's in the party secretariat, he's in the party office. That is not been that he's recognized, because the National Working Committee, as his own meeting, has decided based on available facts before them, to align with Ude Okoye.
Right.
The BOT has issued a special commendation to the National Working Committee for adopting its own report, and there is nowhere the National Working Committee has come out to say we didn't meet or we did not take that decision.
Right. Okay.
So that decision stands.
Thank you very much.
Now,
Thank you very
when
much.
somebody goes to on an individual forum
Yes.
to try to show to the public that I'm in the party of secretariat, of course, the key of this office of the secretary is still with him.
Okay.
It has not been collected, so he can go there and display himself to the public to show that he's one.
Thank you very much, Madam Umar Sani. I wish we could go on, but I understand time is not on our side. We appreciate your perspective. We will continue to engage on this matter as it unfolds. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Viewers, that's the wrap on today's edition of Daily Politics. Do join us tomorrow. We'll be back with another interesting topic and personalities. Until then, good evening.